Just in case you're wondering, I'm making sure that this is actually going live. So I'm going to wait. There we go. Okay. I hate to do this right now because David Knight is on, and his information is always of the utmost importance. But I just had to get this out because I won't be able to get back on most likely until later tonight. And I am, at this point in time, hello everyone, planning on doing a live stream to interact with you a little bit tonight. I'm going to have to be careful how I answer the questions, obviously, because if I'm not real careful, they'll take this down or give me another strike or whatever. So I'll communicate with you the best that I can. But I am busy doing some other things, and I have been for a while. We'll just have to wait till tonight. But I had to get this up right now, even though David Knight is on. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes. So today is March 3rd, 2022, and I saw a clip, actually a video by Brian Young of High Impact Flicks, and it's about the 9 tenets of Satanism that apparently the U.S. military, the Army at any rate, has been teaching these 9 tenets of Satanism in some of their schools. Now, the excuse that I guess somebody checked on it and found out that, well, they were told that this hasn't been approved by the command, but that's always the case. They always have somebody to blame between them and something that might be questionable, so that isn't necessarily true, especially since we've seen all the CRT and the woke kind of things and the forced GMIs, etc. But I'd suggest that you go see it. If you have a Twitter account, I did, I think, I think I've put that up on Twitter too, so you could find it on my Twitter account. But you can go to High Impact Flicks here on YouTube and see that video and look at this and see these 9 points of Satanism. And then Brian asked, well, gee, this sounds pretty good. These are all the good things that we all want, basically. And I told him, I said, well, it depends upon how you invert the truth. I haven't actually talked to Brian, but I put that in an answer on Twitter or on a comment section. The reason why I'm bringing it up and why I titled this video, Beasts and Ukraine, you have to understand that when the other side talks about freedom, they mean for them, not for you. We saw that all through the summer and the year of 2020. We see it now when it's freedom for the elites, but it's not for you. When they say we want freedom, that everybody needs to have equal access, that everyone needs to be respected, etc. All those 9 points, they're not saying that for you. They're saying it for them. That's what I meant by the inversion of the truth. That's why also I put beasts on this video, both in Talmudic Judaism and in Satanism, because they're mirror images of each other. Jews are going to get upset about that, but I'm just going to put it that way for now, and you'll see why just for a second. In the Torah, in Genesis, it talks about the beasts of the field. Another reason why I say there were other beings, not just animals in the idea of lions, tigers, bears, fish, whales, etc. In esoteric tradition, the beasts of the field are like they are in much of Judaism, the goyim, in other words, the other, the Gentile. But more specifically, they're not human, they're beasts of the field. So when they say that they mean freedom for everybody, they mean for their particular group who have submitted to the esoteric and ritualistic requirements of their organization. Everyone else is excluded. It's like I've said before, you've probably heard me say, a pagan is someone other than yourself. A terrorist is someone other than yourself. So they're doing the same thing. So all those tenets sound real good. And you say, well, gee, maybe I am a Satanist. There's a big difference, because you're not one of them. You are a beast of the field. That information there, those 9 tenets, they do not apply to you. So I hope Brian sees this so you'll understand, and he'll understand what that's about. It's inverted, and it's very exclusive. The only people that applies to are their own people. Now they'll refute that in public, But you can see it in practice. You see it with the way that we can't talk about God, we can't talk about freedom or liberty or have free speech, but they can. You see Trudeau, and the stuff that he does. You see the Democrats and the stuff that they do. They're all Satanists. They bow to BLM and Antifa. Even the FBI did. So they're bowing to that, and you're a beast of the field. You don't count. You have no rights. And they're trying to make that even more so with these things. Okay? So I wanted to explain that. Hopefully I did it well enough. I don't want to take a lot of time because, like I said, I think David Knight has a lot of important information, but I just had to get this out now so I can go get some things done. The other thing I want to talk about is in my community posts above. I made a post about 2 or 3 days ago, and it's very important. Now, a lot of people were talking about it after that. I don't know if I was. Anyway, it came up where Alexander Soros and Marina Abramovich, the spirit cooking lady, if you know who that is, were both saying that we need to go into Ukraine, saying the same things that a lot of rhinos and a lot of Democrats and a lot of other people who probably never, just idiots, okay? You've got to ask yourself, when they say that we need to go and support freedom in Ukraine, again, using the beast of the field analogy, you are not one of the people that deserves freedom. And neither are the Ukrainians. They're talking about their people who are there that want to exercise their freedoms to engage in their occultic and debased practices. And we should all know what those are now. Trafficking, child trafficking, organs, child love, all of those things. The use of that establishment there to launder money, taxpayer money, to supposed humanitarian organizations that are set up by the same people like Nancy Pelosi and then get a kickback, and so we're interfering with their dollars. Okay? So all of that adds into what's going on with this thing in Ukraine. And I just wanted to point that out so that everybody would at least be somewhat familiar with it. And you can go check all this stuff out on your own. Go look at the 9 points of Satanism. You can Google it, or you can go to Brian Young's video about the military teaching Satanism and the 9 points of Satanism, and review that. So I wanted to just bring that up real quick, as I said. I think that's all I needed to cover. So again, the two things I'm concerned about are when they talk about the 9 points of Satanism and freedom and all those nice things, they're talking about it for those who are inside their organization, okay? Not anybody else. You're all beasts of the field, you don't count. So it's an inverted truth. It's a veiled lie, okay? And then the same thing with Marina Abramovich and Soros. The building that you see there is the Soros Foundation building. I'm not sure where it is. I could have found out, but I didn't. But both Soros and Abramovich said that we need to intervene in Ukraine. Why? To save their asses and their investments there that are all fraudulent, that are all evil. They don't give a crap about the freedom of the Ukrainian people. And if that were true, they would have been very upset about what happened in 2014 when Newland, our State Department representative there, Newland, and the CIA overthrew that government, the Ukrainian government, and then installed their puppets. And what happened after that were what they're calling Nazis now, and they do have Nazi backgrounds. Anybody who's studied the history knows it. Crucified Eastern Ukrainians and murdered thousands of them. Talk about humanitarian rights violations. Not many people were speaking up then, and Putin was very patient. Now, a lot of people, again, will say, well, Roy, as a matter of fact, I got one on, I think it was on a comment yesterday, why don't you just move to Russia? That's a cop-out. If you are cowardly enough, if you don't have enough courage to stand up and hold your leaders to feet to the fire and demand that they do what they promised they would do as far as supporting the Constitution is concerned. Don't tell me that because I'm saying that the United States needs to be burned to a crisp because of how evil this place is and what it's promulgated around the world. Don't tell me I should move to Russia. I'm upset that I spent 28 years trying to back this thing, and I knew early on that it was corrupt. I didn't, like all young people that get involved, you don't realize how bad it is until you get inside of it. But I never bowed down to it. The only thing that I did that I shouldn't have was I kept going back in. I kept doing things that they wanted me to do. Nothing really bad, too bad, you know. But holding back and complaining got me in a lot of trouble. So don't tell me to go to Russia. No, I'm trying to stand up and say, you leaders in this country are lying pieces of crap. And you by and large, I think out of all the people that, you always hear, oh, 99% of the FBI is good. No, it wasn't, and I've never said that. As a matter of fact, I countered Hannity, Jones, everybody that said that no, it's rotten from the top to the bottom. Now they have to admit it, right? All right. So those are just the two things I wanted to say. I've already gone almost 12 minutes. That's too long. I think that's everything I wanted to say. There might be something I'm missing here that I wanted to bring up, but I think that was it. So again, the bottom line is when they say that we need to intervene in that war in Ukraine and that Russia's this big bad bully, you got to look at the history and see what's happening and how NATO has treated Russia, how the United States, Hillary, the Russians were her friend, and then she's saying all these bad things about him. Well, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know why Putin doesn't just come out and say she's a damned liar, but politics at that level are a lot different than what most of us would do. That's all I got for you. I got to go. I don't want to interfere with David Knight anymore. If there's any more that I can bring up, I'll do it hopefully on the live stream tonight. Okay, we'll do a little interaction there. All right. Okay, everybody. Let me make sure that's it. Yeah, I think so. All right, out here.